This is part 9 of the crochet bag series where we make this bag. I'm a little bit getting over a sickness, so I feel like my voice sounds a little bit odd, but I can't really put this video off any longer, so we're recording it. Today we're going to be making the mesh stitch, which is a combination of double crochets and chains, and it's super easy. You're just going to need your ball of yarn and your 5mm hook, and you're ready to get started. Now, there are a lot of ways we can do this. This stitch could for sure be more mesh if you want, and I'll show you how you can do that. But for the sake of having a bag, you don't want there to be a bunch of holes in the bag. If you plan to line the bag, then you might be okay with making a more holy square, and I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to make our slip knot. Place the tail, wrap it around your fingers. Under the first loop, grab the second and pull it through and tighten. For this block, we're going to want 17 stitches wide. So we're going to chain 18, hook in front, pull through, hook in front, pull through, hook in front, pull through, in front, pull through, in front, pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So for this block, I actually started with a row of double crochets, and you can do that for sure and then get into the mesh pattern, but I'm going to go ahead and start off with the mesh pattern to show you. So the first mesh pattern we're going to do is a double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet in the following stitch. Very similar to the moss, like I said, but we're using double crochets. So we're going to skip our 18th chain and go into our 17th chain, and we're going to make our chainless double crochet. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. There's our single crochet, and then you're going to hold that loop, insert your hook into the post, pull up a loop, yarn over, make another single crochet on top of that. Now we're going to mark it. That was our first double crochet. It was a chainless double crochet. Now we're going to chain 1 and skip the next stitch, because here's where our chainless is coming out of. So we need to skip the second stitch and into the third stitch, make a double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then as you can see, you've got a hole there. And we're just going to repeat that all the way to the end. So chain 1, skip the next chain and double crochet into the following, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you can start to see the spaces forming. Chain 1, skip a stitch, into the next stitch, double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip a stitch, and you should be double crocheting into the final stitch. And that completes our first row of the mesh stitch. Like I said, to make this less holy, I've alternated mesh rows with solid rows of double crochet. I want to show you that, and I also want to show you how to do it without that. For the next 2 video sections, it's going to be like full mesh or part mesh. So depending on which one you want to do, you can skip to that part of the video. For full mesh, it's going to be really easy, and you're just going to repeat the row that we did again. So you'll turn your work, and then to do our chainless double crochet, you don't have to chain. Create a single crochet in the first stitch, and then single crochet on top of that. Then you're going to chain 1 and double crochet on top of the previous double crochet. This is also a nice one because you don't really have to count. We are skipping a chain and going into the next stitch, but you just have to spot the double crochet below and stick your stitch on top of that. So chain 1, find your next double crochet, and put your double crochet right in the top of it. Chain 1, double crochet on top of the double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet on top of the double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet on top. Chain 1, double crochet on top. Chain 1, double crochet on top. And then you just have to be careful at the end. Chain 1, finding that last stitch, double crocheting on top of that. And that is what our mesh stitch is going to look like. The double crochets might lean a little bit depending on which direction you're working them, just because we're flipping back and forth. You would do that about 7 rows. So that was row 2. So you would do 5 more rows, just repeating that back and forth. Double crochet in the first, chain 1, double crochet on top of the next double crochet all the way to the end, and repeat that row back and forth. That's if you wanted to do solid mesh rows just like this. So if you want to make it less holy, it's not hard. You're just going to do a row of double crochets, starting with our chainless double crochet. Remember, we don't have to chain. Insert your hook into the first stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then insert your hook into the top of that single crochet, yarn over, pull through 2. That's your first double crochet. And then what you can do is just place double crochets inside the mesh part and on top of the double crochet. Single crochet in the chain, double crochet, and then double crochet on top of the double crochet. So you're just placing 17 double crochets across so that you get a plain row. One in the chain space, one on top of the previous double crochet. Chain space, previous double crochet. until you get to the end. And you should have 17 double crochets. And then you can just repeat this pattern. So you can make a mesh row and then a plain row. So let's do that. So we're going to turn, single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet on top of that single crochet. Then we chain one, skip a stitch, single double crochet in the next. Just like we did at the beginning on our chain row, but now we're just working on top of the double crochet. Chain one, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next. Chain one, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next. Skip a stitch, chain one, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next. Chain one, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next. Chain one, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next. Chain one, skip a stitch, and double crochet in the last stitch. And there's another row of mesh. Then we can create another row of plain. So turn, create our chainless double crochet, and then double crochet in each stitch and in each space. On top of the double crochet in the chain, on top of the double crochet in the chain, on top of the double crochet in the chain, on top of the double crochet in the chain, double crochet in the chain, and on top of the last stitch. So we're going to do a total of 7 rows. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 so far. So we're going to do mesh, solid, mesh to finish it out. But I just want to show you that you can play around with the mesh. So this is alternating 1 double crochet, chain, 1 double crochet, chain. But this third row I did here, I did 2 double crochet, 1 chain, 2 double crochet, 1 chain. So it creates different size gaps. Depending on the amount of stitches you have for your row will definitely matter on how your pattern works out. But you could even do 2 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet. So you can even like make the row kind of crazy if you want. So you can definitely play around with it. I'm just going to do regular rows for each row. We have a mesh row, which is where we do double crochet in the first, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet all the way to the end. There's our mesh row. And then to count stitches for this, you can just count the tops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You should still have 17. Or you can count the double crochets and the spaces in between. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Whichever way of counting is easier. Now we're going to do a row of 17 double crochets. Double crochet chainless in the first stitch, and then double crochet in the space, double crochet on top, all the way down. And now we have one more mesh stitch to work with. One more mesh row to do. Last stitch. Then we're going to chain 1, cut your yarn 2 lengths of the square, and pull it through, tighten, and there is our mesh square. Here's what it would look like if you did just mesh back and forth without any solid rows. This is only 5 rows of mesh, but that's what it would look like. And here it is with solid in between. So it's up to you which one you do, depending on what you're going to put in your bag. It probably won't fall through, but we're also going to be putting this square at the top, so it's even less likely that things will fall through the cracks, but it's possible. Of course, this has holes as well, so whichever one you like better, you can make. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next video, which will be the wave stitch. Comment down below if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy crocheting!